Hey everybody, welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know, ask you every single day. Why? Because we are building a community. We are building a tribe. And let me tell you, we are doing a good job at it because we have the best people over here. You don't believe me? Go in the comments, talk to somebody, conversate, chit chat, kiki, and I bet you will come out saying, I want to be a part of this. And you know what you need to do to be a part of it? Look right down here. Look in your settings. Look around. Find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Ooh, child, it's a mess. It really is. But I tell you, we have to keep on pushing. Also, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of the readers who support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, it means everything and it helps so much when it comes to supporting the channel. I just want to say thank you because I know it's not easy and I appreciate it. Also, right over in the corner, right there, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I'll be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have you and have your support. Also, look in the other corner. That is our super thanks button. And if you want to do a one-time donation, just hit that super thanks button. And all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all. I have a shout out and I have an announcement. But I am going to be front facing tomorrow, and that is when I will make them. As y'all know, I always do those front facing. And then we also probably going to have to talk about that because I have the next, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks are going to be really busy for me because I am going to be moving into my new place. Yes, I finally found my new place. I did. And it's supposed to be ready the first of the month. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. That's not too many more days. And of course, I am going to be busy moving in and moving around and getting things for it for my new place. So I probably won't be front facing a whole lot. So we're probably going to have to figure out how we're going to do our shout outs, maybe put them on the screen, because I don't want to wait too long to do them, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right, y'all. With all that said, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the read. And y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, I have been on here most of the day. I've been going all over the place now. I spend a lot of time on X, formerly known as Twitter. Y'all know I do. Y'all know that's my home away from home because the Squatty's over there. They are just a different breed. I stayed over there, but I also went to Instagram to see what the Instagram squatties are talking about. I'm telling you, everybody's getting hyped up about tomorrow, which will be today by the time I upload this video. And that would be Harry. Harry, our Prince Charming Harry, will be at the Legends of Aviation Awards. Yes, he will be. And we are hoping that Meghan is present also, that she will come and support. Yes, I hope so. But if she doesn't, I understand. They do have small children and they have just come back from a trip with them both being away. So, but it would be nice if she would attend. But yes, so everybody is getting hyped up for that. I cannot wait. I'm so proud of Harry. I'm so proud of him because he do not allow them to cower him. Because like I said, I always have to bring it up, how they behave, how those flying monkeys and that family, especially his brother who directed the flying monkeys to attack him and try to get them not to award that aviation award to him last year. Had a petition and just went on and on and on and really thought that they were going to be able to change the mind of this private organization. But yet and still, they went forward with it. And look what we have here. Harry is coming back as a presenter this year and showing them that they didn't accomplish anything. I love it. I love that about Harry. He never allows them to cower him. Now, I'm not going to get into the Pat Tillman Award too heavily because y'all know that I almost lose my SHIT every time I talk about that because I cannot tell you how angry that made me, how they treated him and what they did and sent that flying monkey Carolyn Graham over there to Pat Tillman's mother, Mary, and had up all that mess. And Harry still stood on that stage and showed nothing but grace and class. Like I said, y'all know I'll go on a tangent. That's, I always say the soft underbelly. That's my soft underbelly. I'm telling you, if you bring up Pat Tillman, I will rant and rave for a good 10 minutes because that made me so mad. Can you imagine how I felt when all of it was actually playing out in real time? I was hot. I'm going to tell you, I was mad. And to see Harry stand on there, to see Harry stand on that stage with such grace and such class, I felt so bad for him to have to go through that, all because of the jealousy and envy of some people, and mostly his brother. Y'all, I'm not going to do it. I said I wasn't going to do it. I get wound up. I do. When you said Pat Tillman, you want to get me wound up? Said Pat Tillman. I'm just saying. So I digress. So, yes, we are excited about that. I love Harry. That's why I love him because, like I said, he do not allow them to cower him. And that's the same way it's going to be with Cinnabale. Don't get it twisted. Harry is not going to give up his charity without a fight because Harry is a fighter. He is a warrior. The Lesotho people gave him that name, Mahala. It means warrior. It means fighter. And him and Prince Siso will be at the helm of Cinnabale again. This hostile takeover of Sophie Kenduka is not going to work because one thing that she has underestimated the level of fight that is in Prince Harry and Prince Siso. So all I am doing right now is sitting back and waiting. This woman, she best be praying that she avoids jail time. I mean prison, because that company that she has that is supposedly located in Texas, she has scrubbed that from the internet completely as if it never existed because I don't think it ever did. I think it was just a web page and a way for her to scam money. My belief. But if I am correct, it's all going to come out. And she is going to rue the day that she picked a fight with these two princes. My prediction. But yes, I know I went off on a tangent. Y'all know I will go off on a tangent in a minute. But we have a lot to talk about. So let's get started. And first of all, I am going to put this up. And look at the name of the person who posted this. Yes, Alex Beresford. And if you are an old school Squatty and was around when Meghan was still a working member of that family over there, you know who Alex Beresford is. He is the weatherman on GB. What is it? Good Morning Britain. Yes, that morning show that Piers Morgan used to be a co-host on and would use his platform every morning to bully and disrespect and downgrade and be downright nasty to Meghan. I mean, he would have guests on this show. I kid you not, and I am not exaggerating, that had nothing to do with Meghan. The topic had nothing to do with Meghan. And he would bring the conversation, he would maneuver it some way to bring it around where he could bring her up, bring her name up to bully her for no reason other than his hurt ego. Because he has this old sad story about how he met Meghan prior to Prince Harry meeting her. Now, I'm going to say it out loud, and I have been saying this from the beginning. I don't believe none of it. I don't believe the story that he is telling, how he met Meghan for drinks and he put her in the cab and she probably went off that night to meet Prince Harry. And it has been proven that it's a lie because of the fact that the timeline just doesn't work out. We had one Squatty who worked through the timeline and found it was impossible for that to be true. And so I have never believed anything he said. He is such a liar, and he's always trying to center himself in everybody else's story. So, but he was telling that story, and he told that story about how she just absolutely ghosted him afterwards, and just a whole lot of nonsense. And nobody would ever believe anything that came out of his mouth if you have any kind of critical thinking skills. But I digress. And he was just on one. He was on one day. And the weatherman, I don't know how it came to be, but the weatherman was on the panel because every time that Alex Beresford was there and they brought up Meghan, he would always take Meghan's side and say, he would always take up for Meghan because anybody could see that this was a full on smear campaign that had started way before they quit that family. And so one morning he was on the panel, and I mean, Piers Morgan was just going all in on Meghan. And this particular weatherman, Alex Beresford, went in on him. And before we knew anything, Piers was leaving the building. He just absolutely embodied Elvis Presley. Y'all know how they used to say Elvis has left the building. Well, that's the way it was with Piers Morgan. Because let me tell you, the weatherman put some lightning on that butt of his. And I almost did the sound bite. But I decided not to even do the sound bite because it gets me so hyped the way Piers Morgan has behaved. He has, and he acts as if he is totally and completely obsessed with Meghan. And he thought if he just continued to hammer her and hammer her and hammer her through the years, that somehow she would relent and come on his little nickel and dime show when it was on a network. Now you know she's not gonna come on it when it's on YouTube, but I digress on that point because Meghan would never engage with this man. Meghan always served him up dust, and this has always been his MO. He has done this with a lot of celebrity women. He did it with Ariana Grande. He just hammered her and hammered her and hammered her until she finally agreed to come on his show, and then he stopped. And I think he did the same with Madonna. I mean, like I said, this is something he has done in the past. But Meghan has been the only one that I know of has resisted his approach, meaning that she continuously and consistently serves him up dust and never, ever once acknowledged his mere existence. And that drives him even more crazier than he already is, because he is a complete narcissist and he thinks he is the center of the universe. And when anything that goes on, he tried to center himself in it. He is the one who called out the royal races, and he didn't do that to try to help Kate and Charles. He did that to center himself in the story. Anything that's happening big, he wants to center himself in it. If any way he can wedge himself in it, he will. This is Piers Morgan. I'm just saying. But I digress. Yes, this is the weatherman. This is Alex Beresford. And guess what happened? Meghan sent him. Meghan, I'm going to say this. Meghan has a little pettiness in her. She does. She absolutely does. And I love that about her because y'all know I am messy, but I'm also petty as well. It is not something that I'm embarrassed about at all. I embrace it. And looks like Meghan is embracing the petty side of herself too. All right, y'all, I'm going to put it up. And Mr. Alex said this, feeling jammy. Thank you, Duchess. My favorite flavor as well. Yes, Meghan absolutely decided to embrace the petty side of herself and sent Mr. Alex Beresford a jar of her spread. And not only just a jar of her spread, she sent it in the commemorative packaging. Yes, she did. And there it is. Oh my goodness. The pettiness of it all is so delicious. And let me tell you, I can hear the gnashing of teeth, the wailing, and the millions of questions that is going to be asked. I would not be surprised if Good Morning Britain didn't have a full segment about this one jar of spread, because we know they are just that obsessed. I'm just saying, but just the pettiness of it is so delicious because it is a clear hand to the face to Piers Morgan. She is thanking him all these years later, saying, I saw what you did and I appreciate it. And it is delicious. It is. We're going to go to the next one. And this particular Squatty posted this and said, according to a source close to the Association of Royal Reporters, some of them are keeping their fingers crossed that they too would receive as ever goodies. This follows the recent photo shared by Alex, who is known as the man who led to Piers' live tantrums. Yes, we absolutely was there for all the world to see. that he is a man baby. And Alex just came for his neck and he could not handle it. And here Meghan is absolutely giving him a jar of this jam. And like I said, it is so many people over there want to get their hands on a jar of that jam. It is crazy to me the obsession that exists over across the pond. And just think about it. He has one that Meghan personally sent to him. Oh, the envy. Oh, the jealousy. Oh, the pettiness. I love it. I love it. I do. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatter said this. Me watching the weatherman get jammed. Meanwhile, the rest have to pay the Rangers to get it for them. What you want to bet that's exactly what happened, especially with that Marie Joseph, aka Martin Brennan, aka Dan Wooten. I bet he got little tooth, big tooth to bring him some over. Y'all know when she was over there taking pictures of Harry coming out of court, she was over there stalking Harry. I bet she was just loaded up with Megan's jam she was bringing over there. I'm just saying. But yes, exactly. They have to pay the Rangers to get jam, but he got a special jar of jam, and I bet you a very beautiful note. But it goes on to say, my princess never misses. And what is the lie in that? Meghan is in her joy era, but let me tell you, I think she is in her petty bag era too, because she has been doing some petty things here lately. And all I can say is I have nothing but more respect for her. Because it kind of goes back to what I said in my last podcast. You know, a lot of times you can be so kind and so sweet that people absolutely show you nothing but disrespect. You have to have a little pettiness in you to absolutely garner some respect. So I'm telling you, I respect her even more. I didn't think I could, but I do. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular squatty said this. And I love this picture. As you can see, Piers Morgan is making his way to the exit. Now, it's not very clear. I put up a clear one. But yes, he's making his way to the exit because Alex had put it on him. And this particular squatty said this. I'm so happy for you. I love how you got Piers Morgan in a chokehold that morning on GMB where he couldn't bear to hear the truth. I applaud you and thank you for sticking up for Meghan Sussex that day. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Alex had him in a chokehold to the point where he could not handle the truth. You know, that's the way these little boys walking around in men bodies behave. They cannot take it. They're so thin skinned. And when he had to sit there and be faced with the truth, he refused and he hightailed it out of there. And all I can say, I think the way Alex put it at the time, your behavior is diabolical. I love that word. I'm telling you, that is such an English man's word. He said, your behavior is diabolical. No, he said, that's diabolical behavior. Yes, I remember it well because it was a good day. Yes, it was. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and this is a repost, and the original post said this. Megan Sussex even gifted his baby girl a cuddly. Yes, you see the octopus cuddly, and you can see the baby's hand in the picture. Yes, Megan went over there and changed everything. Now, I'm not saying that Meghan came up with the idea of not showing a baby's face. Now, she absolutely did not come up with that. That was happening a lot in America prior to Archie's birth. But Meghan is the first one over there, especially of the royals and any of the other people that I know of that was famous over there. They would always show their baby's face. But after Archie came along and Meghan showed his little feet, Meghan kind of showed his little head and not his complete face, just not showing him really. Well, we all know that all the royal women going forward, meaning Beatrice and Eugenie and any other royal, so-called royal baby being born after Archie, nobody saw their faces. They saw their hands, the back of their heads. Even now, Eugenie's little boys are up some size. You rarely see their faces. You see the back of their heads. And when they were babies, they followed suit with what Meghan was doing. And let's not forget, Meghan was a trendsetter when she hit that family. And they have done nothing but shamelessly copied her ever since. Meghan went over there and shook that whole 1,000-year institution to its rafters and molded it into her image. Now, they don't want to, acknowledge that, but we can see it with our own two eyes. Those people are just copying Harry and Meghan right, left, and in between. And it's also other people who are copying Harry and Meghan. And like I said, after Archie was born, all we got was little hands and little feet and little sides of faces at the most of babies. And here we are getting a hand from Alex. But I digress. This octopus is a gift from Meghan to, her name is Camille. It says, and for Camille's sweet gift. Yes. And this particular Squatty reposted that and said this: Meghan is such a caring person. I love this for Alex and his family. I do too. I absolutely do. And she'll always know that the Duchess recognized her when she was born, and this is the cuddly that was gifted to her. Yes, I love it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular Squatty said this: those gifts are better than dog food Maureen got. Just saying. All I can say is, where's the lie? Yes. And he can't even get any more dog food because that whole thing is defunct. We all know James Middleton can't keep he cannot keep a business going for more than 60 days. I don't believe. And we all know he can't sell a book unless he's selling it to his family. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular Squatty is talking about the Daily Mail, that article I put in my last podcast about somehow in their fevered mind, they think because Harry protects his wife, loves his wife, supports his wife, does not see his wife as an adversary, that he is the spare in the marriage. All I can say, it says more about what's going on in their fevered mind than it does about who Harry is. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular Squatty says this: they can't handle Meghan's joy. And because her husband loves, values, and supports her, they think he's the spare in the relationship. British media, Harry and Meghan are equals in their relationship. They give each other the time and space to do their own thing. Unlike Kitty and Willie, fake love, they've no purpose or chemistry. Where is the lie? Yes, they are partners in their marriage. Why is the Daily Fail pretending, and I say pretending, to not understand the whole concept of marriage? It is a partnership. And that is why Harry and Meghan's marriage is successful, because that's the way they look at it. Not you look at your partner as a tool to be used for your own pleasure. And I believe that is the way William looks at Kate. He doesn't look at her as an equal. He looks at her as somebody that he can use and is necessary to complete what he wants to do, which is to be king, to sit on the throne so he can, feel better about his failures in life. And I don't see how he can, because, when you peak at birth, and that's basically what he's saying, being king is you just peaked at birth, because he has no accolades to his name. He has built nothing. He has accomplished nothing except slipping out of the birth canal. But I digress. He does not look at Kate as an equal. He looks at her as somebody to be used. And a perfect example of that is when the what hit the fan about that Frankenstein picture, that Mother's Day picture, that monstrosity of a picture, and the lie that was told about the picture. But when the rubber hit the road, Kate went in the kitchen to get a glass of water and woke up under the bus, because he had put her, I would say, throwed her, slung her, absolutely kicked her under the bus. I'm just saying. So that is why I say that they are not equals, because Harry would never. I'm just saying. So I agree with this, Squatty. I do. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up, and this is by Sophia A. Nelson. Now, I know the Squatties from the UK will not know her, but she is an American, and she is a political pundit. She appears a lot on a lot of our news channels, and she also writes for Forbes magazine. And so she does a lot. She does. And I think she has an investment company. I think she does. But she is friends with Oprah. She is friends with a lot of people. I think Oprah is her mentor, if I'm not mistaken. So she is a very successful woman and is a full on, full blown, unapologetic squatty. So she posted this about Meghan. She said, nothing irritates your haters more than your success after they've tried to stomp you into the ground and kill you. Been there, done that. Go, sister. Yes, yes, yes. She absolutely is letting Meghan know that she knows where she's coming from. And Meghan has not yielded one bit. She has not. Her and Harry will not cower. And that is what makes their haters so angry. That is what makes William walk around looking like he's on a crack pipe, because he's staying up at night counting ceiling tiles on this old castle wall or ceiling, because his brother will not relent, will not break, because that is what he has wanted from the beginning. He has never wanted Harry to have anything. He never wanted Harry to achieve anything. He truly believes in the spare being the scapegoat, being the one that is thrown under the bus, the one that makes all the sacrifices, the one that should live in poverty while he lives in luxury. He believes all of this nonsense. He is going to be the king. Harry is his subject, not his brother. And I'll tell you what, this kills him because Harry is everything that he wishes he could be. And I believe including free and married to Meg. I'm just saying. I would not be surprised on that one either. But yes, I agree with everything that Sophie A. Nelson said. If you really want to irritate your haters, be successful. Oprah, one of her quotes says, the best revenge is success. And I believe that with everything in me because every time Harry and Meghan put a new, bigger point up on the board, every time they are successful at something, a little part of all of those flying monkeys, the toadies, the ugly old hags, the skags, the skanks, all of the rangers and the toadies, just a little part of them die bit by bit by bit. And they have to make up all of this fever-minded lies to make themselves feel better. Y'all, I'm telling you, I saw in where was it? I think it was Lorna in my comments. One of our readers, she is chef's kiss, and she's one of the smartest squatties out there. She said that old fever-minded she had wrote a comment and she said that old fever-minded Kenzie Schofield had said on GB News that Meghan asked to be at Times 100 Summit. That, yes, that somehow she didn't get there by invitation, that she actually asked to be on there. And my whole thing is that is the most ridiculous thing. They cannot take the success. They cannot. And they get crazier and crazier and crazier with all the things that they make up, trying to soothe all of the demons that Meghan's success stirs up in them. So they get crazier and wilder in their justification for their hatred of Meghan. They continue to lie and lie and lie. It's ridiculous. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty said this: it's not too late for us to enjoy Princess Meghan without the need to talk about how much better she is than the subpar woman we know. If we see her tomorrow, can we just enjoy seeing her? If you don't need it to defend, leave the unnecessary comparison to the British media. You got this? Now, this particular squatty, I love her. I do. But I don't agree with her. I don't. And that's the reason I put this up. Because we compare Meghan to the subpar woman, as she put it, because it's fun. And because that's what they do. And you sometimes have to fight fire with fire. And I love the way it irritates the people who absolutely attacks Meghan on a daily basis. I refuse to yield this to them. They are not going to come in and lie on Meghan and me not compare Meghan's excellence to this particular person's mediocrity. It is just too delicious. I refuse to do it. Now, like I said, I love this particular squatty. I don't have anything against her. But on this one, we have to disagree. Now, I have always said that this particular channel here is not going to be like everybody else's channel. Now, it's some people's channel. It's just really, really, really good channels. But they don't get on the low road as much as I do. And y'all know I patrol the low road quite often. Yes, 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 I do. And I love it because One thing I have found is that the pushback, it works. It absolutely do. The pettiness, it works. The messiness, it works. And the comparisons, it works as well. Because I have never got in a back and forth when I have come real hard for a deranger. Now they absolutely will not stop their behavior. It's not going to stop their behavior because we all know it's a mental illness and they are fever minded. But I tell you what, it shuts them down. It does. It keeps them at bay. And it's something I enjoy. I ain't gonna lie about it. So this particular Squatty, I love her to pieces. She is smart. She is everything. But on this particular one, no, I'm not going to do that. Because if Meghan steps out tomorrow, well, today with Harry, I am going to be comparing. Yes, I am. I am going to be absolutely enjoying every minute of it, rubbing it in their face. I am going to treat them like a puppy who has soiled the carpet. I am going to rub their nose in it and I'm going to enjoy it. So, no, can't do that one. That would be a hard no for me because I am going to continue to ride them like a pony. Yes, ride them like a pony at a 5-year-old's birthday. Really, really hard and continuously. Exactly. I am not going to let up, not for 1 minute. And you know why? I'm going to put this up because of this. Look at Meghan then and look at her now. That is what not letting up has done. Meghan is free. She's absolutely successful. And it's because of the support that she has gotten from the Squatty. And Harry said that himself. Look at Meghan's face. This is the face of someone who wanted to unalive herself. But then when Meghan really understood that she had support out there, that it was people willing to band with her and help her to absolutely push back and then survive and then thrive, then yes. And if we just let these people have their way, they will absolutely be back on the BS. So no, like I said, that's a hard no for me. I'm gonna put this up. And this particular Squatty posted this, and it's in Spare. And it says, in Spare, Prince Harry writes about how people took the treatment of Meghan Markle personally, particularly highlighting the racial undertones in the media and public response. He noted that many, especially women of color, felt a personal connection to Meghan's experience, seeing the criticism and the hostility she faced as reflective of broader issues of racism and misogyny. Harry described how this resonated deeply with those who saw their own struggle mirrored in the way Meghan was scrutinized and vilified, framing it as a collective sense of injustice. And then this particular Squatty that posted it said this: they should have listened to Harry. Meghan didn't need to tell us what was happening. We saw it in real time and felt her pain. And now we feel her joy. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Yes, these people who have caused so much pain for Meghan and will do it again if we let our foot from off their necks, because these people hadn't stopped. Look at Cinnabale. Look at how they have attacked Archwell in the past few days. They will not stop. And if you let your foot up off the gas, you will not be able to catch them. I'm just saying. So this particular squatty, like I said, the one that said, we don't need to compare and whatnot, I get that. But I just happen to disagree with you. I love you, but I disagree with you on this one. And I just think that these people have done too much to let our foot off the gas. I'm just saying. And a perfect example of that is this particular post right here. And it's a TikTok, and this particular TikToker, and if you're a squatter, you're pretty familiar with her. She's British, and she doesn't profess to be a squatty, but she definitely is a Meghan supporter because she recognizes the nonsense. And she was talking about something that was going on in her comments and how the trolls came into her comments. And I'm going to read it. It says, "What is really funny and laughable is the trolls saying Meghan is a liar. When Meghan admitted she was struggling in the royal family and thinking of ending it all, they said she was a lie. When she gets out of there doing very well without taxpayer money and says she is happy, they say she's a lie." Exactly. What can you do with these people? They're saying that Meghan is lying about being happy. Why? Because her happiness makes them unhappy. That's why. And that is why the pushback is so important. Because we are dealing with mental health patients right now. We are. These people are really, really mentally ill. Look at that fevered minded hag that flew all the way to the UK on a moment's notice to go over there and stand outside of the courtroom just to see Harry come out. This is what we're dealing with here. You know, like I said, I disagree. I disagree. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: "What a heartless and hateful royal family. And their vicious media hounds wanted from Meghan was a broken spirit. What they got, well, you be the judge. Joy, 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 joy." Exactly. Exactly. But yes, they wanted a broken spirit. They did. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And it says, "She has accomplished so much already and is truly grateful for her achievements. Yet her journey is just beginning. Keep throwing those bricks at her. She'll use them to construct a $1 billion empire." Well, it's a lie. I love this. I love it. Keep on throwing those bricks at her. She is going to use them to build a $1 billion empire. And all I can say is what a lie. Because I was casually passing by Little Tooth Big Tooth channel, and she has a video up. Of course, I didn't click on it, but I did see the thumbnail. And on the side table where she is doing her spiel, what she calls commentary, she had on the side table every product in Meghan's product line. I kid you not. She even had the commemorative uh, spread. She had the commemorative raspberry spread. She did. And all I can say is this particular squatty has it correct. They keep throwing bricks, but Meghan just keeps building her $1 billion empire with them because their hate is making her rich. I mean, who is compelled to buy every product from somebody's product line that you hate? I'm telling you, if Kate Middleton, and I don't even hate any of them, let me make that clear because I think you have to have some kind of emotion. I think you have to have some kind of emotion in order to hate someone. And I feel nothing for those people over there. I don't feel love nor hate for them. I feel indifference. But I digress. I am not a fan of hers. Absolutely not. I think, didn't she sell a book at one time of her photography, and she went around, this whole thing hiding the books in different places? I don't even think people even bothered to look for them. It was pretty much like that. You never heard of any kind of success that she ever made of it that came and went. But she was hiding books all over London and, trying to encourage people to buy it. I think it was like a coffee table book of her photography. I'm sure most of it was Photoshop, but I digress. Did y'all see how I put that little messiness in there? Yes, y'all know I have to. But I digress. Do you think that I would go and purchase that book? Why would I do that? I mean, it is crazy to me. These fever-minded people buy all that is Meghan. Look at that Elizabeth Home person. She absolutely buys everything, everything that is Meghan. She even have the necklace that Meghan has on her shop. What is it? Shop mine? And she has it on her shop. And on her, I saw a post where she had said, you can purchase the necklace that Meghan has on from my shop. This is who we dealing with here. This is it. This is it. And that is the reason why I treat them the way I do. These people are crazy. They are crazy as a box of Fruit Loops. They are. But I digress. Do you honestly think that I would buy that coffee table book? For what? I could care less. But these people buy everything that Meghan touches. I bet if you go into their homes, they have everything. They do. We all know that Elizabeth Home does, because every time Meghan show up with an outfit, she runs and get that outfit and absolutely takes a picture in it and posts it. Woo, y'all, I'm telling you, if it wasn't so crazy, it would be hilarious. It is. These people are just, but I digress. Yes, so all of the bricks that they throw at Meghan, she is building a $1 billion industry, a $1 billion business. She is. She's building her empire. I just love it. So I agree with this, Squatty. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up, and look, the outfit that Meghan wore to the Times 100 has sold out. Yes, our girl's influence is not to be messed with, is it? It says Meghan effect is real. A $2,490 jacket sold out. $2,190 trouser sold out. Chic blouse gone. Even the Manolo, I think they're talking about the Manolo Blahniks, her shoes almost gone. And it's no telling how much Manolo Blahniks costs. I know well over $1,000. But yes, Meghan got some rich fans. I'm not one of them. I'm sorry. I cannot afford to pay almost what, $2,500 for a jacket and 2200 for some trousers. But I love it. I love it for the ones who can, because I love that they support Meghan. And also, y'all, in a little incoming messiness, I know Elizabeth Home, I know she got her order in, and I am going to keep an eye out for that picture, because we all know she's going to dress up like Meghan and take a picture of us. For her fevered-minded followers, you know she is. I'm telling you, what can you do? What can you do? All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And after Harry and Meghan left Time 100 later on that night, they went and did this. And I'm going to put it up. And this Squatty said this. Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, continued their pursuit to do good at a unveiling of their NYC Memorial honoring lives lost to social media. It's inspiring to witness them turn their philanthropic passion into real tangible change. Yes, and it was so beautiful. And if you can look at the pictures, very pretty. Very, I mean, well, sad because it's like it's on a phone and it has the picture of all these people's children that has been lost. I'm going to put this up. And this particular Squatty says this. My heart breaks for these parents. It's really slippery on these internet streets. Thus, why I encourage everyone to have a shrink. Make it a part of your routine, doctor's visit. There is no shame in asking for help. Thank you, Prince Harry and Meghan, for this initiative, and RIP to all of the lost souls. Yes, very, very sad and heartbreaking. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And Talk Nerdy said this. My husband and I worked with many of these families for the last several years. And though the Archwell Foundation and our program, the Parents Network, we support them in their grief and stand with them in their call for action. Yes. And Meghan and Harry was hugging them. It never really gets better. Grief is like a deep wound. Now, does it heal? It does, but the scar remains. And you're never the same again. I saw this woman on TikTok and she said something so profound about grief. She said, when you lose someone like your mother or someone like your child, someone extremely close to you, that you're never the same anymore. You're a different person. And you have to get used to being that different person. You're never going to be the same anymore. You have to take that and say, okay, I got to get used to the person that I am now, the person that grief has changed me into, and try to move on. Yes, and that's so profound because I have spoke of my grief. I lost my mother 5 years ago, and it is so true. You're not the same person prior, post than you were prior. You're not. You have to get used to the person that you are now, because you'll never be that person, that you were before you lost this significant person in your life. I'm just saying. So I do understand the grief. I do. I haven't lost a child, but I have lost a mother. And it's hard. It really is. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. And this is something new on the Thomas Kingston unaliving. And this is what was in the fail. It said tragic Royal Thomas Kingston's company owes creditors £3 million after inquest told of depression struggles. And it's by Richard Eden. Now they're trying to say that he owed £30 million, and this may have, contributed to his depression and why he, allegedly unalived himself. Now, it's a lot of theories floating out there, and I'm not going to talk about them, but we know what they are. But I'll tell you this. One way you get a rich person to unalive themselves is to take away their money, especially a man. And so this kind of helps me to understand what was going on with him, because it is not something unusual for a rich person to lose their money to feel some kind of way, and they will unalive themselves. I'm going to put this up. This is from the Mirror, and it says, tragic. Thomas Kingston Company owes 30 million pounds as it goes into administration. That maybe was what was going on with him. And here he was, he's married into the royal family, and he's kind of run his company into the ground. I guess, the first thing I thought about when I saw this, of course, feeling sorry that if this is what happened, that he got to this point. Of course, I would not revel in that. But what I thought about was Pippa. He used to date Pippa. And Pippa sniffed that one out, didn't she? She absolutely did. She ran into somebody whose family had more money, because her husband, his family is a $1 billion family. Now, this Thomas Kingston's family, I think their family is a $1 million family. And she sniffed that one right on out, didn't she? She went with the one that had the bigger bucks. Because can you imagine him losing everything and he was married to Pippa? The notorious Middleton family that does nothing but marry for money, gold dig, and social climb. Ooh, that would not have been good, I'm telling you. Because we all know that they have always been about securing the bag. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And the squatties are making fun of the Daily Mail, how the Daily Mail actually did a poll on the ducks, the mama duck and the baby ducks. And this particular squatty said this. And then they created a poll for their readers to take about the ducks crossing our driveway. And they're acting like Harry is whispering to Meghan and she is giggling. I can see this happening in real life, because they did. They created a poll talking about some kind of conspiracy theory. And do you think it was staged? I mean, about the mother duck and her ducklings. They did. Sick, sick. This is how sick they are. And I hope Harry and Meghan do look at some of this nonsense and giggle and laugh and find it funny. You have to find some humor in a lot of this craziness. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And Harry and Meghan kind of snuck themselves a little kiss in. I think this is backstage at the Time 100, but yes, had a little kissy. And if I'm not mistaken, Meghan posted this on her Instagram. Yes, this is how we got this picture. But yes, they are so sweet and they love each other so much. And I love it for them. And this particular squatter said this. Oh, some people are going to be so mad after reading articles that state reliable sources said Harry moved out because they're getting a divorce. Yes. I am sure they are mad, because I think I saw on a panel they were talking about that, saying that put a lot of stress on the marriage that Meghan is successful. These people, I am telling you, I have to just chuckle because it's so ridiculous. But yes, Meghan, that Instagram page of Meghan, that Instagram account is such a chef's kiss, because they cannot make up old fevered, crazy, just absolutely delusional accounts from unnamed sources and somebody that said somebody that knew somebody at Netflix and all this nonsense that they make up. They can't do it because Meghan just goes right on her Instagram page and just dispels all of it. I love it. I love it. And I love that they love each other. Yes, I'm just saying. All right, y'all. This is the last one, but it is so true. And I'm going to put it up. And it says, I've never rooted so hard for a stranger before. I'm over the moon that they are winning. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? I think that is true for all of us. We don't really know Meghan, but we know what has happened to her. And we're rooting for her. We are. And it is wonderful, wonderful to see that this woman who has been bullied so viciously by that family over there. And they thought that they were going to get away with it without any blowback, without any pushback. And that has been happening for hundreds of years, that they have never been held accountable for what they have done to others. They have pillaged and absolutely R-worded their way through countries, just absolutely stole and done all manner of atrocities to other countries and their people, and they've never really suffered any consequences for it. But this time they got the pushback, they got the blowback, and it has them circling the drain. And all I can say is I love that for them. I really do. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.